Alrighty, we have this big fluorescent light here working off this extension cord, and we're going to hook it up and make it more proper and put it on the wall over here and not have it on the extension cord. So here in the country I was born in, we use 14 American wire gauge on 15 amps, 12 American wire gauge on 20 amps. Black is live, white is neutral, the bare, the green is the ground. Red and blue are also live colors. However, you may find white live in a 110, 120 volt switch loop or in a 220, 240 volt circuit where the appliance does not require a neutral. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you what it's plugged into. You can see this extension cord comes around and it plugs into that light fixture up there. And also, this room does not have an outlet, so we're going to try to see if we can get a hole over here. Get over far enough. Okay, I can get a wire. So, a hole here. So we're going to trace this and cut this out. Then we'll drill a hole up here for our wire to go in. Another one over here to come out to our light. So we'll trace our box out right about right here. Okay, so I'm going to get this up to the top of our hole here. Okay, so I'll trace it. I'll come down here, trace it over here, come across here, and across here. Okay, so we'll make our line across here. Okay, so we can drill some holes now to make it easier for the cutting. Keep the line at the edge of the blade. Okay, now we can take our keyhole saw and we can cut it out here. We'll see if our box fits in that. Okay, so we're going to have to get a little wider and a little deeper. Okay, so we have to go a little bit more. And since we're going into some particle board, I'll do it this way. So make it a little easier to backsaw. Gotta go a little bit across the top here. I'll make sure our whole board is there. So we get our wire through there. See if it'll fit now. Okay, so we gotta go a little, we gotta get a little in here. I'll just do it wider this way so it's easier to get to it. Let's see if that's wide enough now. Okay, it looks like it's going to go in, so we gotta go up a little here and down a little bit over here. see if our box will fit now. Okay, it's just about ready to fit, so we're not going to be able to use these screws because the parts are gone for it. So we need to go in. So we got to just cut a little down into here. Alright, it's going to fit in there nicely now, so now we can undo this light fixture here. Pull this staple out without damaging the wire. Okay, we got a little bare spot in the wire there, so we're going to cut that off a bit there. So we'll use some black tape, cover this end up. Try to bring it into our hole over here. We'll pull this other staple out to make it easier, and we'll put new staples in. Make sure you get all your debris out. This is the wire that's going to go up to our light. Okay, so now we can put our box in the wall here. make sure we have our jacket down into our box here. In here. Nice strong fit. So I'm going to have to come down a little bit over here. Let's pull it out a little bit. We got to cut it here and here just a bit. That should do it. Yep, that did it. So we'll get our wire to come up to our switch, to our light. Bring it right up here. Our other wire stapled back down over here. And we'll bring this over and we'll go into our light fixture. So I'm going to put our light fixture right up here. So I'm going to strip this back. Okay, I'm going to put the shorter screw up here in the top, as the wires are up here, so I'll put the short one up here. I'll put the longer one down in this corner because there's no wires down here. There, we got our box all nice and settled in here. Now we'll strip our Romex to go into our light fixture here. want to put our light fixture like right about here. So we'll take our bulbs out. get upset. If it falls, it falls. You don't get all upset. You don't get pissing and moaning and complaining because it's not going to fix anything. Just stay out of the way in case it does come down. Don't get mad. If you don't find it, you don't find it. Got a good solid screw there. I'm going to have to get a couple more screws. Okay, there's a red wire that wasn't hooked up on our ballast here, so take it apart. That's why one bulb wasn't working. Oh, this red wire is just all twisted up in here, so it wasn't hooked up to anything. So I'll just get these wires. Check our wire nut here. So let's get these wires together here. This one all together. We can take some electrical tape and tape them up. So there's one side put together. Just let it lay, you don't get all upset. Alright, so on our light, we're going to put our plastic Romex connector into it here. Let's push it in like this. And we'll stick our wires into our fixture. And we'll get our wire nice and flat up here. Well, there's nothing to staple to, so I'll just come back further along our wood here. And I'll just get another staple back here. Okay, so our power went to one side here. He had a fuse in here. Well, he put a fuse in there and have it shorted. And it's blown. But I'm going to save this fuse ball lock here. So we're going to hook our black to the yellow, which goes to the black that goes to the ballast. So we'll put our one wire over here. So we'll get our yellow wire that goes to the black that goes to the ballast, nice and long over here. And we will get it wrapped around our black wire here. Get our copper even at the end here and our insulation even at the bottom. Like that there. Take our wire nut, and let's put it on, make sure it grabs all all the conductors. I'll look inside, make sure our insulation is up in the wire nut, which it is. So now we can fold this wire up into our fixture here. Now we'll get our white wire, hook to a white one that goes over here. This one's stripped fairly long. Wrap our wire around it there. Get our copper even at the end and our insulation even on the bottom. Put our wire nut on. Get on there nice and tight. Make sure our insulation is up in there. And we can fold our wires up into our light fixture here. Now I would like to hook the ground wire up, but there is obviously nothing to ground it to, nothing at all. So we're not going to get all upset. We're going to try a self-tapping screw, but if I can't, I can't, and I'm not going to get upset. got it. The way this was put up before, it wasn't grounded. There it is. Okay, we'll just get our wires together here. Okay, so first we'll get our grounds together here. I wish I could get my light in a better place, but you know what? If I can't, I can't. I'm not going to get all upset. Don't get worked up over stuff like that. You just can't. Dump this garbage can upside down. Put it up here. Hopefully I can see better. That helps a little bit. Okay, so we'll put our wires into our tail wires into our Wago like this. Push. Make sure the copper comes up to the top. Again. Push it in like that. Make sure the copper comes up to the top. And we'll get these wires together here. These are our ground wires. Push. Make sure our copper comes up all the way up to the top like that there. Okay, we gotta look, just make sure all our copper is up at the top. Okay, so all our wires are up at our copper is up at the top. Now we can push our ground tails all back into the back of the box here. So this is our switch. This is the ground for our switch, and this will be our outlet over here. So we'll strip our wires to put them around our screws. This one goes on our outlet. So we'll have to get a black tail wire out of our wire here to go to our from our switch to our outlet. Okay, so hook our ground wire up onto our switch here. We'll put it around our green screw here. So we'll make our loop the direction our screw turns. Tighten our ground wire around our green screw here. Make sure it's nice and tight. Flip it around this way. Our black one that goes to our light goes around the screw the direction our screw turns. Close our loop the direction our screw turns. Pull back so we get our copper under our screw head all the way around. I'm going to turn my flashlight on the camera, hoping that will give me a better picture, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. And guess what? It's not going to let me, so you know what? I'm not going to care. Just don't let stuff like that bother you. If you can't do it, you can't do it. Just be thankful for the light I have. Thankful for what I got. If I can't turn my phone flashlight on, I can't. You don't get upset. Don't get frustrated. It's not going to turn it on, so you just go without. It's that simple. Well, if it falls, it falls. I just love this. Okay, we have a good solid connection. Our copper is under the screw head all the way around. Make sure it's good and tight. Okay, now we can put our switch into our box here, and I'll screw that in with my screw gun. Okay, so here in the country I was born in, up is on, down is off. Now we can hook our outlet up. Okay, so we'll hook our ground wire and our white wires up. Here in the country I was born in, your white wires go on the silver screw, which is the wide slot. Your black live wire goes on the brass screw, which is the narrow slot. And your bare wire or your green wire goes on this green screw. So we'll start hooking up our ground wires here, and our neutrals. Make sure it's good and tight like that. Now we'll get our white wires on our silver colored screw here. It's a little long, so I'll just take a smidgen off. Always put your wire around the screw the direction that the screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight. We have a good solid connection. White one from the light. This is a Robertson 1 screwdriver. There you go. That's what you want on your silver screws. Turn it around. Now we're going to want to keep our ground wire down on the bottom here, so we're going to zigzag it like this. Now we can hook our black wires up to our device. Always put your wire around the screw the direction your screw turns. Make sure it's nice and tight like that. And now we'll get our last wire to go in here. wire to break in it. Those are loop the direction our screw turns. Make sure it's good and tight like that. And now we can push our wires into our box. Move this one down this way. And the other one's going up some. Keep our ground down where we want it. This ground wire down away from everything here so it doesn't touch what you don't want it to touch. Push our outlet over a little bit. Get it straightened out on here. We'll straighten it by hand with our hand screwdriver. Put it over this way on the top. Get it nice and snug. Let's push it over this way so it's straight on the bottom. There it is. There we go, and I'm just gonna get my flashlight, just make sure everything's all good inside there. Ground wires are down away from everything. I'm just going to push this ground wire down. It's a good ½ inch away from the ground wire, but I'm going to just push it down a little bit more to make sure it's all the way down away from everything here. There it is. Alrighty. Okay, we'll just stick our cover back on our fixture here. Make sure all our wires are inside here so they don't get pinched on anything. how come it's not going in? If it doesn't go in, you know what? It doesn't go in. So I guess force is all you can do. You don't get frustrated, you don't get upset. If it doesn't go, it doesn't go. Unless it goes on this way. Yeah, it probably goes on this way. Yes, that's how it goes, like that. So I'm glad I don't have to force it. Okay, so we're going to make sure no wires are going to get pinched. This is an 8-foot fluorescent light. Put this end down in the spring-loaded end. Put this end up here. Oh, this bulb is all broken. That's why it's no good. It's broke. See the hole right there? It's all broken. So we'll stick our gooder. This one is black on both ends here. We'll try it up here, see if it works. No. But I guess those bulbs are bad, because I heard something rattle inside this bulb after I took it out.